Then we have our contacts. Again, we have a list of contacts. Each customer can have an unlimited number of contacts. The contact is linked by the account number to the customer record, first name, last name, title, salutation, whether or not it's an active contact, type is free form, what rep this contact is associated with, some phone numbers, what language this contact speaks, email address to that contact, and a company name if the contact is not assigned to a customer. This is used for prospecting and lead generation. You can create a contact that's not assigned to a customer because your company policy might be don't create customer records until we're actually going to sell something to them, so that we don't have all these dead prospects in the customer file, in which case you create a contact record, and the contact, since all contacts have to be tied to a customer, default to be assigned to the unassigned contacts customer. And then you can store the actual customer's name in here. And when it gets far enough along that you're going to create a quote or an order for that customer, you can convert this contact and use the information to create a customer record, and then this contact becomes assigned to that customer record. Again, you've got the weather group and the time zone that the customer is in, or contact is in, to be exact. You can have a separate address for the contact, and then you've got a switch here to say mail to the company address or the contact's address. You have 15 code fields here that you can use for tracking whatever specific information you want about that contact. You've got demographics, what department they're in, a reference, what level they are, birthday, where the contact's from, when you got it, a call pattern. Call pattern is used when you have the system generate call orders or call actions. So you can say, create actions for my salespeople or customer service. I want them to call this customer once every 2 months just to see how they're doing. And you can put a call code in and then have a job create action records, which show up under my actions. Then you've got some specific information. This is the contact you market to. It's the IT contact. Accounts payable. So that's the customer contact that would get the invoices. Is this the one you email statements to? Is it management? Do you contact them about orders? And do you send the dunning letters to them? So those fields are used for the process automation stuff to pick which contact or contacts get these type of documents. Then you've got web information. If this contact has a specific website, whether or not they're allowed to log into your website, what date they accepted the terms and conditions, what their login ID is, and what their e-commerce password are, or you can generate a new password and email it to the contact. And this is their user ID. If this contact is also a user or operator in your system, then their user ID goes into there. Then this is a field that allows you to control what database access they have through the e-commerce. Whether they are a web administrator, this means they can set up additional contacts or people who can place orders on your website. And you can control what menu options this contact can get to and what their access rights are. Comments, again, you can have an unlimited number of comments per contact. Actions that are contact specific. Documents, emails, or letters that you've sent to this contact. Attributes, and we'll get to attributes when we go back to the customer. And advanced, which are some, again, where we put the oddball stuff. If you have Outlook on your workstation, you can automatically synchronize your contacts with your Outlook. You can export it, and you can generate mail merge documents for this contact. So that's our contact detail. Entity is used to track legal information about the company. What type of company is this? Is it a government corporation? Is it a department, a joint venture, a partnership, public? Is it a state? Is it a trust? What type of company it is? What's the status of this company? Are they normal, blank? Are they in bankruptcy, in liquidation, different statuses? Then identification numbers, their federal ID number, their state ID number, and other numbers that you might want to track about it. And what is the parent company? Parent and child companies are situations. Take our Pacific Bell example. The parent company is Pacific Bell, but they have individual operating companies in different areas of California, but Central Pacific Bell pays the bills. So you may want to produce reports on what your sales are to the whole Pacific Bell entity, or you may want to run reports to a specific operating company. So the parent company lets you link companies with their parent, or you can click on the button and it'll give you a list of all the companies that are children of the current company. Attributes allow you to store additional information about something, either a customer, a catalog item, an invoice, an order, that we just don't have homes for. And attributes are stored in sets. You can have attribute sets. Here, for example, is an EDI attribute set. You can select that, and those are just the names of stored attributes. For example, here we go. What is the default ship via for drop ship orders from this customer? What is the default ship via for stocking orders from this customer? What EDI line codes get suppressed? Basically, any sort of tidbits of information that need to be stored with a customer that are either used programmatically or by operators can be stored in the attributes. The attributes over time are replacing things like these user fields, because you can have an unlimited number of attributes and values. Now, the values for the attribute can be set up to be either free form, or you can set it up to point to a GenCode table or a lookup. So you could restrict the ship via dropship attributes to a certain subset of all of your ship vias. And when we get to order entry, you'll see how these attributes can also be used to gather additional information at order entry time. An example of that is Data Access Corporation, the publisher of the DataFlex language, uses StreamV internally. When they enter an order for one of their products, during order entry, they'll say runtime license, and it'll then pop up a list of attributes and say, does this runtime license have connectivity? How many users is it? What other types of special information about this item need to be captured during order entry? And then those attributes are used during price calculation, carried over to the invoice, and then stored in perpetuity. So attributes are just additional information about anything that you want to store, and it's available in sets. We have the EDI attribute set. We can then add shipping attributes, And in this case, we only have one called ship pay code as a default, because not every customer will have all of the same attributes. You may have 1,000 customers, but only maybe doing EDI with 10 of them. So you only add the EDI attributes to those customers that you're actually doing EDI with.